All right, hi, Math Class 1105. I'm Jill Stringer, and I will be your instructor for this online course. I just wanted to send a quick video to introduce myself. I tell you a little bit about myself. I have been teaching for nearly 28 years, and this is my 30th year at LCCC. I was a math consultant for the Wyoming Department of Education for about 3 years before I came here. So I've pretty much been teaching my whole life and been involved with education. So my two favorite things are education and mathematics. And so that's what this class is, which is one of my absolute favorite classes to teach. The problem is, for me, this class is really about a lot of discussion, questions, lots of hands-on activities, and it's really difficult to do that online. So I feel like you get cheated a little bit because you're doing the online course, but I will just do the best we can with it. And I assume most of you probably took it online last semester. So I hope it works for you. If you have questions, don't ever be afraid to reach out and ask questions, okay? I'm happy to help you any way I can. So all I really wanted to do today was just go through exactly what the course expectations are. I'm not going to read through the syllabus. I would expect that you would do that on your own. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen here. All right, so this is your Canvas course, all right, 1105-500. And I'm just going to take you through a couple things that are really important, all right? So I don't ever use this announcements. I guess probably you can't see that. I forget that what you can see on Student View. So here, just kind of talking a little bit about the course. I have office hours, and those will be for you as well. They're just virtual office hours from 9:30 to 10:30 on Wednesdays, and then 1:30 to 2:30 on Tuesdays. Okay, so those are office hours. I will include that link in the supplement that I'm sending to you today that has some of the COVID and how to get started. I will put that link in there so you know how to get to the virtual office hours, okay? Now, just to get started here, looking at, let's start with the assignments. So all your assignments are already posted in here, okay? There might be a couple that I will add on. I still need to complete your final exam, but everything else is pretty much set to go. So here's your math lab, okay, and that's 20% of your grade. Now, I didn't give you specific dates to have this turned in. I opened it from the beginning of class until the end of the semester. So I really don't care necessarily. I just did that to give you flexibility, but it's super important that I think you should do these before you take the Chapter 7 test. So we have Chapter 7, 9, 15, and 16 are what we cover in the second half in this 1105. So be sure that you are staying up on the math lab. I'm not going to give you a deadline, but I would hope that you would complete them before you take the exams. Really, the math lab is just practice skills for you to continue practicing and kind of refresh your memory maybe on some of the skills that we're doing. But these chapter quizzes, now these are in math lab, these stay in math lab. They all have a due date. So the Chapter 7 quiz is going to be needed to be completed, and it has a date on there of September 20th. It has to be completed before you take exam 1, which is Chapter 7. All right, so pay attention that the chapter quizzes in math lab all have dates, but the homework does not. Also, on the chapter quizzes, you only get one attempt, and it's only like 7 or 8 questions, but you only get one attempt at that. So it's really important. If you click out of the quiz, all right, then you cannot get back in, and I'm not going to let you back in. All right, I don't say that to be mean or to be rude. I'm just giving you a heads up. The quizzes are really meant just to kind of see where you're at. So you have one attempt to take it, and hopefully you don't have any issues. You can take it. If you do poorly on a quiz, don't panic. It's only 8 points out of however many total math lab points you have. It goes in your math lab grade, but it just kind of gives you an idea of where you stand as far as the knowledge of the content in the math lab, okay? All right, so that's all here in math lab. Now, class assignments. So here are your class assignments. They're all set to go with dates. All right, and I'll show you where you'll get to see all these. They should be on a calendar, but I'll show you another place where you can find all of these. Now, this particular one is actually a Desmos activity, and there's several Desmos ones in here. So when you do the Desmos activity, it's just online, and you put your real name in, and then I've anonymized it, so the name that shows up that the class will see is a different name. But I will be able to go in and see who it is. Okay, so when you do these Desmos, it's online, and it just might ask you a question like, explain this, and share with class. And so you just want to write a little, it's okay if you're wrong too. You're just putting what you think in there, your thoughts on what you're doing, and it will share with the class. So then when you do that, 2 or 3 other students' responses will come up for you to look at. And so you can kind of see where you stand on those. Now, these are automatically submitted to me. You don't have to submit them. As you do them, I see your work. So if you leave things blank, you're going to lose points for that. But really, I just want you to do the best you can and try every single part of it and just do the best you can on it. Some will be easier than others, okay? So just give your best effort, but be sure you are answering each of the questions. And when it says share to class, write something in the box to share with class that can be useful or thoughtful, but also recognize that it's not your name that's going to show up. It's going to be like, I don't know, Hilda, whatever it is, okay? So those are the Desmos assignments. The rest of these are pretty much just assignments that you will submit through this assignment canvas, through the online here. So once you finish it, you might have to take a picture or scan it, and then you can submit it online. Now, I've used Adobe Scan. It's pretty good. It automatically scans it to a PDF to your computer, from your phone to your computer. And I think that has been a really popular one that students have used. But if you have a scanner, I would definitely like you to do that if you could, because then it all comes in one document to me, and it's so much easier for me to put together. Because I'll be honest, if you submit work and it's just pictures of your work, which you can do also, but if if it's not organized and I can't find your work, I'm not going to fight with that. If I can't read it, you're not going to get credit for it. Okay, you've got to have it clear and organized and concise so that I can see your work, because I don't have time with 150 students to be searching to find your answers in your work. So keep it organized, and be sure your pictures are good pictures. When I look at some of the pictures, they're so far away I can't hardly see them. They're blurry. That's why I like the scan. But if you can't do the scan, then that's okay too. And so that's pretty much all the different assignments that are in here. Now there's a couple in here that are not graded, and you'll see that when you click on them. And those are really just to kind of help you. So I might have just thrown something in that you could have some practice problems on, but I'm not grading it. So you don't have to do it, but it's an option that you can do that. All right, so those are all your assignments. And then we'll have these discussions. So this is the first thing you need to do, is this introduction. And this needs to be done in the first week. So by the end of the day, Friday, I think I put at midnight, 11:59, you need to just write a little introduction about yourself to the class. And then if you could just do some kind of a positive comment on a couple other people's, that would be awesome. And that's just a kind of an easy 10-point assignment for you. But it does need to be done by the first week. If I don't have it completed by Friday at midnight, then you'll be dropped from the class. Okay, because this is kind of that non-attendance if you don't come to class, if it's a face-to-face. So be sure you have that completed by Friday. And if you could do it early, then people could have a little bit of time to comment. So I'd appreciate you doing that as well. These are just some discussions that are going to be assignments for you to do in the discussion tab, and you'll need to read the article and then just answer some questions that I have on there for you, and then comment on 3 other people's. And comments are, I'd like you to have some, I'd like them to be thoughtful, something that not just, oh, I agree, because that's not going to get you any points. Okay, so just try and make some comments and be sincere, give good feedback. That's kind of the purpose of that. And there are 2 in here that have a peer review. And I'll be honest with you, this is the first time I've done a peer review. So we'll see how it works on the first time. But what should happen is you will turn in your work for maybe rigor mathematics. That isn't the one that has the peer review, but you'll turn it in on the due date, answer your questions on it, and you can just do it right there. You don't have to take a picture. You can just do it in the text. Once you'll click on that, you'll see what I mean. Just go in there and reply and submit it. Once you submit it, you can see other people's work, okay? But, and then you'll return it in, and then it would shoot back to you one other of your peers' work. And so you're just asked to look through it, give feedback, comment, and I told you a couple things to say on it. So just to give some feedback for your peers. All right, so that's just kind of having you work together within the class a little bit, but not being so much that it's uncomfortable or it's, but your name will be shown. And I don't expect you to say, oh, it's perfect. It's okay to say, you know, some constructive criticism if it's positive and it's something that will be helpful or whatever it is, that's okay. All right, so just be kind when you are reviewing them and give some feedback. Like, I think this is something I would love to do if I'm a teacher or whatever that is. Okay, so, and then these are the exams. So again, we have 2 exams, and chapter 2, exam 2 is over chapters 9 and 15. So we combined 2 chapters together there. And then instead of an exam for 16, we'll do a project, and then we'll have a final exam. All right, so that's all in our exam. And you can see here, exams are 40%, and all these others are each 20 as far as a weighted grade. All right, so we already kind of looked at Math Lab. I think the Math Lab, you just need to stay on top of that. Here's the syllabus, so you can get on and click. I'd like you to read through the syllabus. You're responsible for everything in the syllabus, so it would be a good idea to read it. You can read it quickly and you can skim it, but be sure you read it. And this is the supplement that I'm also will send out to you today, actually. And then here, this course summary, this has all of your assignments. So you can kind of take a look at the assignments and when they're due. It's kind of in order, which is really nice on when you have to turn things in. So here's the thing on assignments and exams and projects is I don't accept any late work. And the purpose of that is because I give you time. I give you lots of time to do the work. You might have 2 weeks to do chapter 7 Math Lab or take the quiz or whatever it is. Like I said, Math Lab is not due until the end, but the assignments that you have for 7.1, 7.2, they all are due on a day right similar before your exam 1. So you have a couple weeks to do the assignments. I would suggest not waiting until the last minute. Work on them, you know, do an assignment a day or whatever you can do. Work on that because there's no leniency with turning things in late with this online class. And that's why I give you the flexibility. So even when you have an exam, you have a couple days to take the exam. And so write those down, put them on your calendar so you can do them. And you can do them from anywhere. So I don't, you know, if you're going on vacation, not that you would want to probably here with COVID, but if you're going to be, you know, visiting family, you still have your computer where you can take your exam. So there's just no leniency on that. Okay, so everything is due by the due date, and if you don't do it, then you don't do it. There's no really convincing me to give you more time, and I don't say that to be mean or rude. It's just so that you stay on task and on target, and I give you lots of time to do things, so I don't feel too bad if you know, decide to do everything the night before and can't get it all done. Okay, that's on you. Got to be responsible, and that's a hard part on online courses. You really have to be dedicated and responsible to get your assignments in. All right, so over here, quizzes. This is where you can find your exams, okay? And now, these do require the Respondus lockdown browser. So I am giving you those instructions in an email that I'm sending you. I would do that right away because you want to be sure that your Respondus, your lockdown browser is working. So when you go to take an exam, you don't have that issue. Because I'll say to you, you know, you had all this time to get this figured out and you didn't do it, then I'm sorry, that, you know, that's not my fault. And so I highly suggest that you do this first thing this week. Okay, really try and get it. And so this will be downloaded onto your desktop. And so when you go to take the exam, you don't go to Canvas, you go right to your browser on your desktop. That's how you get into it. And then you can go to quizzes. It's a little bit different on classes on depending if they do classic quizzes or new quizzes. And this class has classic quizzes, meaning you do the browser from your desktop, not through Canvas. All right. Otherwise, it's going to come up just this white page. It's not, you're not going to be able to see it. So keep that in mind. Get that downloaded right away. And so it will bring you to this practice quiz. Just click on this when you get into it through your browser, when you're downloading it. And there's one question for you to answer on that, and that's all you have to do. It's really just me knowing that you got in and you were able to get into the practice quiz. So you shouldn't have any trouble then getting in for the exams. Keep in mind that the Chromebooks don't work with Respondus. So you cannot take an exam with a Chromebook. You're going to have to probably get a different computer. Maybe you have another family computer, something else. So you can get the Respondus with that. Here's Zoom. So I believe on this one, I don't know if this is on, if I've set this up yet. So you will have, there's let's see. Okay, so you'll have, I don't know, I think you can go into this as well. It will come up that you'll have a meeting, like if for the office hours, I think that will come up for you in here. And so you can look at it. I don't think I have them completely set up yet. So anyway, I'll have the office hours where you have a link on that and you can click on that. Okay. All right, and then we already talked about your discussions. Those discussions are going to be, they're in your assignments and they're in your discussions, either way. Okay, pages. The only thing I have in here on pages is view all pages. And then right here is your YouTube video notes. Now I will tell you, I don't love doing these and it's really just about showing you work. And I know they can get kind of boring and I'm sorry for that because this is an awesome class and it's a lot of fun to teach. But it's just you don't have that interaction on the online, so it kind of stinks, that part of it. So I'll apologize ahead of time for the boring videos. It's just me talking, and I'm sorry for that. But all of Chapter 7 is on there, and then I have about 4 videos for Chapter 9 I still need to upload, and then I think the rest are on there because I used that last semester when we had to go online with my 1105. So it's really just notes on what we're doing. And so if you have questions on it, let me know. But those are your study notes. So you can look at those so you kind of know the content. And maybe I'll show you several different ways of doing something where I might ask you on a test, show me multiple ways on how to do this. And you will get that from your notes. So be sure you watch them. If you have to fast forward because you're trying to stay awake, I understand. But you got to be able to see multiple ways of doing things. All right. Okay, so that is pretty much the course. All right, now what I really just kind of, I think I started to introduce myself and then I got sidetracked, I don't know, but like I said, I know my specialty is teaching math and education and these courses. I absolutely love them and I'm disappointed because it's really hard to teach this class how I would like to online, but I hope you learned something. The whole purpose of it is just you as a teacher bringing that perspective to this class and saying, okay, as a teacher, how am I going to teach students? Do I know the content enough? If I do, how am I going to teach them? Because our students have multiple ways to learn. And so we have to be ready for that. So we have to have plan A, B, C, D. We have to have all these different plans for students to say, well, I'm a lecturer. I can learn through lecture. My buddy here really learns visually. My other friend here really likes learning through hands-on. So in these, I talk a little bit about this hands-on learning cycle where, trying to create lesson plans that have some kind of numerical, can just be like a standard algorithm, like 30 times 25, kind of probably how many of you were taught. Or, maybe learning to multiply those using Chinese multiplication sticks, which is kind of fun. Or just somehow showing a 3D model or just drawing it with a 2D model and maybe relating it somehow to a real world event they would understand. And you are all at different grade levels. I think most of you, a majority of you are probably elementary, but in my last classes, I've had several high school teachers as well. So when we are talking about this and I'm asking you to create a problem or do something like that, it's really focused on your grade level that you want to teach, that you would like to teach. Okay. And always using math language and really, really interacting with your students. Lots of questioning techniques. Why? Tell me why you think that. You know, don't ever make students feel bad for being wrong and making mistakes, because that's where they're going to grow. If they knew everything, they would never continue to grow because they know it all. So, you know, when they make the mistakes, is really talking about that and having a discussion and getting into their heads and what are they thinking? Why are they doing that? So you understand as their teacher what you need to do to help them. All right. So I'm not going to go through all of that. I could talk forever because I love math and education. So if you ever want to do a one-on-one Zoom and just talk about education and math, I am on it. You let me know. All right. So I think that's about all. I'll be sending you an email, and this link will be in there, and you should be able to get the lockdown browser from that and the office hours, the virtual office hours link as well. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to email me. That's really the only way to get a hold of me. I try and check my email a lot, so I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Just keep in mind, like I said, I have 150 students, and that can be 150 emails, and that sometimes can be overwhelming. So I will do the best I can and try and get back to you as soon as I can. Okay? All right. Well, you guys, good luck. I wish you luck with the course. Again, I wish we could do it a little bit differently, but that's just the way things are. So let me know if you have any questions at all. All right. I appreciate it, and I look forward to getting to know each of you. All right. Have a great day.